pro tip when you travel, get a nice light metal thermos like this, and then you can bring your own tea with you, and then you don't have to constantly buy tea at whatever cafe happens to happen by. Good money saving tip.
Really close it?
I don't know. Okay, well, everyone, welcome to Gyeongju. We are here outside of Cafe Nerd, our favorite brunch place in Korea. And we really do mean that. They have amazing food here. It's like what happens if you take a Western and American style brunch and actually make it nutritious, delicious, and filling, and beautiful. So yeah, if you are looking for a good brunch and you're here in Gyeongju in South Korea, and they're open all day from like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. They are closed on Mondays, however. They have Eggs Benedict. They've got the most amazing actual proper sourdough bread. Yeah, check out my posts if you want to see pictures of today's meal. There is, however, nearly always a line on the weekends. During the weekday, you might not have to wait in line. But today's Sunday, so of course there was a waiting line. But it goes really quickly. Okay, so Gyeongju, welcome to one of the most historic places in Korea with underwear models. This was the capital of the Shilla dynasty, which exists basically for most of the first millennium in some form or another. And Susan, good morning. Welcome back to Gyeongju. Excellent. Thank you for that confirmation. And here is one of, I think, honestly, the more beautiful of the hill graves for which Gyeongju is so famous. These trees that are growing right out of the side of this ancient tomb dates to the 5th or 6th century AD. Whenever I look at these trees, I think to myself that they must be keeping something in this hill grave, because in Korean mythology, trees are protectors and they can be used to entomb spirits that you do not wish to get out and wander around. And those are some old growth trees, the kinds that you don't really often get in Korea, because a lot of, Korea was stripped bare during the Korean War in most places. So most tree growth is not old growth, it's very recent. And yes, at the base of this tomb below ground level, or at the base of this hill below ground level, there is indeed a tomb. And I'm not certain if they've excavated this one or not. But do not be tempted to climb upon these. They come with a 20,000 won fine. That's about $15,000 at the current exchange rate.
Susan says your hanbok is gorgeous.
Ah, thank you. So just so we're clear, I am wearing a mid-Joseon style hanbok, and by mid-Joseon, 18th, 19th, more 19th century, honestly. I do not yet have clothing from the Shilla dynasty, but there are parts of Gyeongju that date to the Joseon era, and we will be going there as well. So format is, if you have questions, if there's anything you would like to see up close and personal, request and ask in the live chat. It is a fantastically, unseasonally warm day here in Korea. Thank you, climate change. Right, Ryan is wearing a three-piece suit. I tried to convince him to wear his hanbok, but he doesn't want to wear his gorgeous, sexy Joseon hanbok that we paid a lot of money for, I should emphasize.
We're going to a museum. I don't want to call attention to myself.
Oh, for pity's sake, you liar. So there's a special exhibit in Gyeongju that we will be going to at the National Museum, but that will be later on in the day. They have for the first time ever, actually, yes, for the first time possibly ever, the 6 golden crowns of Shilla are collected and in one place, the actual gold crowns, not the ones that are, made of gilt bronze or gilt copper. There's only 6 that have been excavated, that were solid gold, and they have finally been reunited after over 100 years of some of them not being in Korea anymore, thank you, Japanese colonialism. So we will be going to see that exhibit, and of course we'll take you through the rest of the museum. Many of you might not have gotten to explore the Gyeongju National Museum with all of its gold treasures, so we will be renewing our visit there. Lovely little Hanok complex over here. Moonjonghan.
It's almost too bright.
Yeah. Stupid sunshine.
There's the sign for you. Oh, we saw an interesting new informational display.
Oh, yes. So apparently, the former king of Sweden, King Gustav, when he was the crown prince of Sweden in the 1920s, came and participated in digs on some of these tombs here, specifically one you can't really see over on the other side, the flat one. And because he was an archaeological enthusiast. So, you know, the crown prince of Sweden came to Korea and got down in the dirt and was apparently instrumental in both helping fund the dig, but also actually doing the real dirty work and finding he found one of the golden crowns that we shall be seeing today. Ooh, shall we go into the tomb museum, this one? I can certainly pull the wallet out of your pocket. Okay, how would you all like to go in and see a different kind of tomb? Different view of the tomb. Well, and this one was built differently than the Heavenly Horse tomb. Really? You want to play that game with me, buddy? Yeah. Okay, wallet. Okay, in we go. Good morning. 2, please.
6,000.
I have a wallet. Yay. Wallet.
감사합니다.
It's not the one I wanted.
네. You can see two places.
Yes.
Here is Gyeongju next building, Shillato's Information Center.
Okay, brilliant.
Information Center, go out the back door and go straight.
Got it.
For 1 minute. 네. Please show this ticket next building.
Okay,
네.
thank you.
감사합니다. 감사합니다.
Okay, so here we are inside another of the tombs. Yeah. So this is the tomb of King Isaji. And this is one of the Shilla wooden chamber tombs. And they excavated here and they have now reconstructed it in part so that you can see how this tomb was built. This one is very complex. The Heavenly Horse tomb is indeed a complex layering of earth materials. This one has real construction involved. And so basically a massive grid of timber beams was there to hold the stones in place and keep them from moving and shifting over time. Didn't quite work, but yeah. Now the reason that they think this might be King Isaji's tomb is because they found a sword that had that name on it. That the sword says, you know, I belong to King Isaji, basically. Otherwise, there's no real markers indicating whose tomb it might be. Yeah. So what they've done over there is they have reconstructed in the center. I don't know, could they see that? Can you zoom in on it?
I did zoom in.
You did zoom in on it?
Try and zoom in
Yeah.
from over there, though.
Right, yeah. Right. Well, we'll get there in a moment. So here is the layer by layer construction process laid out so you can see how it goes. So the tomb is actually below the level of the ground, and it's protectively, there's a wooden chamber, and then you can actually see here. It's actually, you know, protected by all of these rocks, and then they build basically this framed stone mound around it. You can see layer by layer how it goes. You put it, first goes, they theorize that first goes the metal grid or the wooden grid, and then it is layer by layer filled with large amounts of rock. And then on top of that comes a layer of clay, and clay will protect it from oxygen and water. That's the idea, that it should help it last a long time. And then over top of that comes dirt and then grass. So this is not just a hill. It's nothing like a hill. This is a serious piece of architecture. And here you can get an idea of the way the coffin, the tomb, the chamber itself may have looked. Now, of course, when they opened the tomb up, most of the wood was actually rotted away, as far as I know. There were some pieces left. Right. So these are not the original pieces. These are reconstructions of the original pieces in the way they would have looked when the tomb was freshly created and when the king was freshly interred. Yeah.
With a body.
With a body filling all of that out. Unfortunately, the soil conditions here in Gyeongju do not lead to the survival of organic material for the most part. It just doesn't, sadly. That includes textiles, that includes humans, that includes bones, actually. Loading augmented reality data, please. Oh, sorry, this one, okay. Yeah, so this is an augmented reality display, and they have these increasingly here in Korea. So you're actually looking at the tomb, and then you can actually move this around, and it's supposed to add things in.
I think you have to touch it to add the things.
Yeah, so.
Touch them. There it goes.
Right, so then it shows you how it animates basically how everything goes together. Of course, modern people aren't very good with things that don't move or flicker or change every couple of seconds. So this was a way to try to engage younger audiences in history, and generally it works, honestly. I mean, even I'm fascinated, and I have a pretty long attention span to see how it all goes together.
Rocks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if you're enjoying this live stream and you'd like to follow me on more of my travels, don't forget to subscribe. And if you're just enjoying but don't want to follow me on more, hit the thumbs up. Yeah, it's
I love how they actually made it.
yeah, this is real wood, everyone. These are not these are not fake wood beams. These are real wood beams tied together with real wood, and actually, you can see places where they've pegged them together and then covered the pegging spots. Yeah, this is a serious undertaking just for the sake of illustrating exactly how this looked when it was fresh, before 1,500 years had passed. Although what's interesting is, I never noticed that before. Can you zoom in over there? They've actually preserved the tree stumps that were on top of the mound when they found it.
Okay, let me see. You lost me in pegging.
Sorry.
Oh, there's the tree stump.
Yeah, they've actually preserved the tree stump because the way they found this, it was severely weathered. Yeah. It was severely weathered. The thing is that over the centuries, the people here forgot what was in these mounds. They forgot that they were graves, and they just started building into them or on top of them or taking dirt and rocks from them. So basically there was no reference for these hills because no one really knew what they were. Isn't that fascinating? Oh yes, I forgot we can do that here. Yeah. Oh, here's a good overview. Later on, we'll be going to the Heavenly Horse Tomb, the Tongmachong Tomb. And then this gives you an overview of this complex and some of the other graves areas. We are here right now. And you can see it kind of looks like the land has developed some kind of rash. I can't make it not shine.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is, yeah. Yeah, this is the part of the layers of clay that did survive. along with fill material to try to bind it all together. You know, basically like a giant form of concrete, honestly. And what's interesting is they even have roof tiles. So they, as part of the materials to try to bind it all together, they took, you know, used construction materials from the 5th or 6th century to build this mound.
This was the first gold crown.
So we're going to go to the Gyeongju National Museum and get to see this up close and personal, by which I don't mean that you can hold it. They're not going to let me hold the crown.
They might let you. You never know.
Yeah, I doubt it anyway. Yeah, so the Sheila, of course, were known for their obsession with and craftsmanship with gold. They were the opposite of the Joseon dynasty, which was very modest and humble and focused on simplicity in clothing and attire. And instead, they believed that more gold is better. More bling equals better. 100%.
The next place?
Yes. Okay, so onward to the museum that comes with this. So just so you know, it was 3,000 won, about $2 a person, to get into this complex. And that comes with access to this area, the reconstructed tomb, and then with the museum. That's over here.
그리고 딸린 덜러에 뼈물고리를 넣고 안덜러의 뚜껑과 닫았더니의 뚜껑을
Ancient Tombs Information Center. Oh, it's so bright. So we normally like to come to Gyeongju for a couple of days just because we like being here at night when it's peaceful and lovely. But we day tripped it today because it is a 15-minute train ride from the city where we live, from Daegu. Now, granted, the train does not go to a train station that's actually close to the city center. The KTX high-speed train station is about a 15-minute bus ride, 15 to 20-minute bus ride outside of the city. So there's a little bit more involved than just taking the train and striking out on foot.
And the bus is fun.
The bus is like the night bus in Harry Potter. And if you haven't seen what that looks like, YouTube it. Thank you. This way. Okay. Immersive movie experience. That is they call it a saddle flap. It's actually a mud flap to keep the mud from getting on the king's legs. Nice mud flap. King Wonsung. So this is outside of town, this tomb is. It's just outside in the hills. We've been here. It's really gorgeous and peaceful. Apparently, King Wonsung conducted the first civil service examination in Korean history. It's during the Shilla dynasty, which basically goes from the 1st century BC to the 10th century AD. That altar is for ancestral rituals, but I don't think anyone is conducting them anymore for this king, Wonsung. Maybe sweep around a little bit. Well, those statues are roughly 1,500 years old. Korea is very fond of these sorts of experiences to try to, once again, appeal to an audience that maybe isn't used to reading as much, but also to make it more tangible. Okay, 8th century. Not quite 1500 years, but still. That looks familiar. Yeah, that's his name right there, inscribed there. That's it. That's the only hint we have as to the owner of this tomb. Yeah, that's actually supposedly a tomb. Yeah, Munmu. Wow, I just felt like the water rushed over my feet. King Munmu supposedly is buried amongst those rocks. They've never excavated those, so it's more of a legend than reality or history. But supposedly he was buried in a tomb under the ocean right there off the eastern coast, kind of near Pohang. It does. Again, it feels like water just rushed over my feet. That's remarkable. Well, I guess they're not going to change. Shall we move on? Keep the water in. More interactive experiences. Or that's a greeble. That's not a duck. Rice. Oh, so they think it's a greeble and not a duck, I guess. Green, right, okay, whatever. Ah, yes, the assumption that anything must have ceremonial significance. It can't just be a pretty piece of pottery, no.
I'm not aware of any plans to dig up the water tomb.
Oh yeah, yeah. The question was, are there any plans to excavate the so-called water tomb of King Munmu? I have not heard of any such plans. It would be super challenging because it's in the middle of the surf. I'll go touch the knife. Okay. The ceremonial knife. Yeah. Or it looks like it's from Germany in the 7th century. Yeah. So this is an artifact that was excavated in one of the tombs, and it's imported from Western Asia, i.e. Europe. I guess they're not going to give it the rest of the blade that was probably there. Oh, maybe they will. We can see this in the Gyeongju National Museum.
Very disconcerting. Shall we go look at the actual artifacts?
Yeah.
We're down to 2 people.
Yeah, let's I don't think.
Close up of the actual item.
And as it was when it was excavated, in remarkably good shape.
Yeah.
Fascinating how the stones came off, but no doubt they were, well, here's an interesting thought. The stones shouldn't have come off, or if they came off, they should have been found amongst the items they excavated because they shouldn't have weathered away or rotted away. So then the question is, were all the stones there when it was buried? Inquiring minds want to know. Oh, here's some statuette. Actually, this is a better view than we can possibly get at the museum. So these are some of the few statuettes, some of the few visuals, references for historical clothing from the Shilla dynasty is on these little figurines. And these are ladies, actually show how much the Tang dynasty had massively influenced fashion here in Shilla. This is going into the 8th century. So they're very fond of interactive exhibits because, as I said, a lot of young people aren't interested in things that don't move. Here we have some reconstructions of some of the finds from King Isaji's tomb. So, yeah. The originals, I presume, are probably in the National Museum, but these are reconstructions. So you can see how stunning they were when they went into the ground. They refer to these kinds of swords as ring swords because those trefoils on the end are actually the pommels. And this is a reconstruction of the regalia that was found in this tomb. As you can see, quite amazing. And maybe here, come back here. Yeah, because there's no reflection on this side. Can they see it? It will probably be more clear in the Heavenly Horse tomb anyway. Okay, well, let's head out to the tomb park. Oh yeah, this thing. Oh my God, yeah. This is it looks like plastic. That is not, that is lacquer. So this should give you an idea of just how high in art lacquerware can actually be. So it's a bronze sheet, bronze dagger, and that lacquer, you're talking dozens of layers of painted on lacquer to achieve that level of coating and beauty and shine. And ironically, lacquer is the plastic of the pre-modern era. And yeah, to do lacquer, lacquerware involves a lot of really toxic chemicals, so. Yeah. Oh, here's a map. We can get an idea of where things were, right? Okay, so Korea as such, in terms of Korean-speaking, Korean culture, actually in the first millennium went all the way up into what is now Manchuria. So this,
Now the Korean Autonomous Zone.
right, it's now the Korean Autonomous Zone in China. So this is Goguryeo, the northern kingdom was, and then Shilla, actually managed to reach all the way up into what is now North Korea, but of course wasn't back then. And then eventually Shilla took over Paekche as well and filled in this gap and took that from Goguryeo, and then Goguryeo was taken over by Balhae. So yeah, it's the Shilla dynasty was actually quite far-reaching once it took everything over.
Now look at these tombs from Goguryeo that we can't go to.
Yeah, so a lot of these we can't go to because they're in North Korea. So this tomb, for instance, isn't that gorgeous? This is the inside of this tomb.
It's hard to see.
Yeah, it's full. It's large enough to walk into. I'll put it that way. We can walk into this. There's a digital version of this at the Gyeongju National Museum. Yeah.
No, the digital version of this is at the Seoul National Museum, isn't it?
I think there's one at the Gyeongju National Museum too. I think so. Well, we'll find out. I could be absolutely mistaken. After a while, when you look at enough Shilla relics, they all start to blur together, I'll be honest. Thank you, thank you. Right, out into the beautiful day. I'll be honest, generally I prefer to spend days like this outside anyway. So maybe we should we walk over to the pleasure palace?
Yeah, through the park.
Yeah,
And then
yeah, to
past
the
Tron.
yeah.
I forgot what it's called. The tower.
Oh, the Chomsede. Chomsede. The observation. Woo! Nice breeze. It's a gorgeous day here.
I did not wear my winter jacket.
So if you do not wish to walk everywhere in Gyeongju, and indeed in many Korean tourist destinations that have pedestrianized areas, you can often rent bikes, you can rent motorbikes, you can rent little cute golf cart like things for the whole family and drive around. So you don't have to walk everywhere, but we of course definitely prefer to walk everywhere. It's one of the ways that we stay in shape. It's just by walking everywhere. And it's why we lose weight when we're on vacation, because we walk everywhere. We spend all day walking places. Ooh, is that person okay? That person just fell over on his bike. I think he's okay. I think the ledge was higher than he thought it was going to be. Poor man. So Gyeongju has become a domestic tourist destination par excellence. Koreans will come here, and especially if they're dating, this is a big date destination. Lots of romance happens here in Gyeongju. Unfortunately, the second a place like this becomes highly touristed, it comes with some necessary evils. A lot of the traditional architecture goes away, traditional restaurants go away, and instead you experience a pandemic of cafes. Yeah, I think a group of cafes counts as a pandemic. And in Korea right now, the fashionable thing is coffee and bread. I heard a lot of them muttering Gyeongju, which means queen in Korean, because I am basically wearing a royal hanbok. This is the tangi that I'm wearing, the blue over jogori, as some of you might think of it, is definitely a ritual layer and for ceremonial purposes worn inside the palace generally, and I wore it because we are going to be visiting tombs and palaces. So I thought it was the appropriate garment to wear on such an occasion, to visit kings and queens of old and their resting places. So yeah, Gyeongju on the weekend, we generally try to avoid it, but of all the days this week, today is going to be the only really nice day. Every other day, temperatures were kind of icky, getting towards crazy cold. Actually, and today temperatures are in the upper 60s Fahrenheit, in the upper teens centigrade, so I didn't want to miss a chance to be outside all day in a beautiful place like this. So we will tolerate the crowds. But my general travel tip is, if you're in Korea, avoid Gyeongju on the weekends. Go to a mountain on the weekends. Don't come to Gyeongju. Okay. And here in Korea, they have shared bikes. All you have to do is scan the barcode on that, or the QR code, not barcode, and then it will give you karma will come for that asshole. Anyway, yeah, if you scan that QR code, then you will be given instructions on how to rent that bike. And lots of people in Korea use the shared bikes. They're really fantastic, and shared scooters. Could you put this on your other shoulder? So we are now entering one of the tomb parks, the tomb park of the Heavenly Horse. It's also called, not Orung. Orung is the Five Tombs Park. I forget which one this is. This is Daerongwon, yeah. Daerongwon. And here we enter. So there's a number of things you're not supposed to do while you're here because apparently people tried to do all these things at one point. You're not supposed to exercise, no soccer, no picnics, no eating, no scooters, no biking, no animals, and I'm not certain what the water bubbles are. No bathing? I don't know about that. No drinking. Oh, and look, we've got one of the rainbow maples is still out. Has its beautiful foliage. My favorite tree is the rainbow maple. So these are tombs that for the most part actually survived intact in terms of the hills not being ransacked for building materials. Do we want to go? Which way do we want to go?
Well, but if we go over this way, we can show them the entrance to.
Yeah, Tonmatong.
And be walking only away from the sun, kind of.
Yeah. In the summer, this pond is gorgeous with water lilies of all colors. Yes, bathrooms everywhere. One thing Korea does very well is in spaces occupied by pedestrians frequently, they put public restrooms. And they're clean, and they have toilet paper, and they usually sometimes have nice music playing to inspire you, I guess. This is the Heavenly Horse Tomb. Oh, sorry. This is the Heavenly Horse Tomb to our right, the Tonmatong. Tong. I know, it's a hill, right? I get it. But it's inside where it matters. I mean, I guess we're here. We could go in. Viewers, do you want to go into the Heavenly Horse Tomb and see how it's basically a completely reconstructed tomb from the inside with all of the grave goods in situ? Or we can continue onward to the Pleasure Palace at on the other side of the park, Donggung.
I think it's for Susan. So Susan.
Oh.
I think she's been inside before.
Yeah, she has. Okay, if it's just Susan, I think we'll see what happens later on, but otherwise I think we're going to go onward. Anyway, if you're watching this as a recording, that is the entrance to the Heavenly Horse Tomb. It does cost a couple of dollars per person to get in, but it's well worth it.
Especially to help maintain.
Especially because it's a couple of dollars, but you know, every couple of dollars per person is money to support and maintain it. Okay. Who?
Susan.
Susan? Oh. What do you think, handsome?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just have to buy the ticket real quick. And we'll just do a quick walk through.
Yeah, well, we won't.
There might be a large crowd coming out.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, goodness. Okay, maybe we'll try and come back later on today when there will be fewer people, I think is the better plan. Right now, we're at the height of the day. People will be leaving because it's a Sunday. People will be leaving later. Oh, thank you. 고맙습니다. I'm from the United States.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm from Delaware.
We're from Seattle.
Seattle. He's from Seattle. No, nice to meet you. Okay, then I think we'll come back. We'll check by later on this afternoon because this is open until late, actually, and we can come back at nighttime before we leave. Okay, yeah, so we'll come back later because there will be way fewer people because it's a Sunday. I think the crowds will probably be gone by 4 or 5 p.m. So we will come back and we will explore the Heavenly Horse Tomb in a stream we'll host later on today. Another. Yeah, signs to the toilet, big signs. I suppose they grew tired of of, oh, thank you. Thank you. I suppose they grew tired of people asking them where the bathrooms were.
Says she doesn't like crowds either.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. It's one of the reasons that concerts are a no-go for me. Oh, kumquat, not kumquat. Gosh darn it, you said pomegranate. Charon in German, or persimmons. Yeah, persimmons grow like weeds here. Oh, and those are ugly fruit, also known as quinces. Oh,
Is that very ugly fruit?
they are very ugly
Looks like
fruit.
they were pasted.
They're not, I swear. I swear it, they're real. So the prime time to be here in Gyeongju probably would have been about 2 or 3 weeks ago when all the trees still had their foliage. But thankfully, my favorite tree, the Japanese maple, the rainbow tree as they're called in Korean, retains its foliage for a very long time. So we have all these beautiful reds and oranges all around us.
People in their rented costumes.
Oh, they're rented pseudo Sheila era costumes. Yeah, so you might, this is of course, this part of Korea is known for the Sheila dynasty, and they're now hanbo rental places that sell what I call costume Sheila style clothing. There's a lot of debate amongst fashion historians, by which I mean the three of us that focus on Korean historical clothing, about exactly how Sheila garments actually looked. Because we sadly just don't have many visual references for them. It's very odd, but at least in terms of what has survived, not much visual references to people have survived, have been handed down from the Sheila Empire. Goguryeo, we have tomb paintings. In Sheila, we just have some statues, little tiny statuettes, and only from the very end of the dynasty. So there's a lot of debate. Should we therefore take the clothing styles that we see in contemporary Goguryeo tombs and assume that the fashions are similar? I mean, in the absence of other information, that's what I would do. But some fashion historians don't agree with that approach. Oh, 감사합니다. So yeah, ahead of us you see what I call costume Sheila hanbok. They definitely didn't have farthingales. They didn't have hoop skirts in the Sheila dynasty. And the colors are completely wrong. Those colors are definitely modernly stylish.
신라 공주들이요.
Oh, look at this rainbow tree. Look at these ones. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, look up, handsome. Let them look up. Oh, I need to capture this.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
I'm capturing you capturing this.
I think that's completely appropriate. Gosh, so beautiful. One of my biggest tips for travel, everyone, is to remember to look up, right? Because we often get so focused on just getting to where it is we're going that we forget to live in the moment and enjoy the beauty that is literally all around us, which I know is ironic as I use my phone to capture this moment, but there it is.
The line for the pretty spot.
Oh, the line for the pretty spot. Can they see it?
So far away.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, so beautiful. Wait, I just found an even more beautiful spot to look. Oh, the way the sun is coming through those leaves and just casting Such beauty. Any comments or questions?
Susan asked, did we just pass Costume Sheila?
Yes, we did. That was Costume Sheila.
Trees, beautiful trees.
Yeah, that was absolutely Costume Sheila. 100%. So this is the tomb of King Nichu. This comes with that really fun legend about the bamboo warriors. Remember that the Sheila was under attack, and the king who was in control prayed to King Nichu for aid, and apparently King Nichu sent these bamboo warriors, these mystical bamboo warriors, and they defeated the enemies of the Sheila. And then the next morning, all that was left was some bamboo branches or bamboo leaves. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, with the red and the gold on the ground. Oh my goodness. Yeah. See, you have hanbok that is way better than that man's. Of course, we still need to find you a new cot, don't we?
단단하고.
Wow. Just have to always stop and appreciate these little moments. Wow, this carpet of red over here. Right, so if you are traveling in Korea, one of my big tips is to get a T-Money card. You can purchase them at any this might seem like a bit of a non sequitur considering where we are, but in my head the train of thought works. Anyway, you can get them at any GS25, any CU, any 7-Eleven, or sometimes the train stations, and you put money on them. You load them up with cash at said convenience stores, and then you can use them on buses, on metros, and even in taxis. And then you don't have to worry about having exact fare for your bus or your train or whatever. You just scan the T-Money card and go. And it works for every single metro system in Korea and all of the buses. Well, all of the public buses. Express buses and coach buses, you have to buy tickets separately there, but that's a whole different ball of wax.
Susan said it looked like they poured copper and gold on the ground down.
Yeah, it really did. It looked like it was staged. It wasn't. I swear, that is just the stunning beauty of these rainbow maples, like we have up ahead, for instance. Rainbow maples are proof of the artistry of a supreme deity. Yeah, so it is very popular right now in Korea, amongst Koreans, in fact, to rent these costume hanbok at these historical sites because many Koreans, oh, that was a Korean tour guide, by the way, who just wowed me. Because I'm not wearing a costume. This is a very expensive handmade item and they can all recognize the difference. Oh, look at the light hitting the rainbow maples over here. Yeah, gorgeous. And they would have been even brighter and more stunning just a couple of weeks ago, if you can imagine. Oh yes, Gyeongju food, right? So there's a couple of dishes or pastries that are typical of Gyeongju.
Maybe change my favorite tree to rainbow.
They are the best. They are hands down the best. Oh, we can get ice cream here. We didn't bring peanut butter. Damn it. We can get ice. We can get yummy soft serve there, but we didn't bring peanut butter. Right. So these are these 10 won coin breads. Yeah, we'll go over here. They've got a stand over here. Oh yeah, here's an example of the little rentable electric golf cart like vehicles that one can rent to get around. And this chaos that you see here is why we don't drive to Gyeongju. So pro tip, don't drive to Gyeongju. Definitely don't drive to Gyeongju on the weekend. It is a fool's errand and a recipe to just spend all the day in the car. Okay. So these are, yeah, so these are simwon pang, which means 10 won buns, basically. And they're kind of like waffles that have melty cheese on the inside, and they are sweet. It is not savory, but it is something that everyone gets when they come here, and I recommend that everyone try it once. I don't like them, they're sweet. But if they were savory, I would like them more. Here is the Gyeongju pang, which is yet another kind of bread, a bun. This is actually made from barley, and it's kind of more like a pastry. On the inside is red bean curd that's also very sweet. And then here, Koreans are still, well, like many Westerners in some ways, superstitious. So these are Chinese, this is what we in America call the Chinese zodiac, the Asian zodiac. And you can get your fortune, basically. And especially couples who are out on dates definitely come here to get their fortunes. Oh yeah, those are an interesting version of the Guardians, huh? That must be one of the least reverent, that must be one of the least reverent versions of the Guardians of the Zodiac. They're and a little gormless. I think that's the rabbit, yeah, with the buck teeth. Right, okay, I'm trying to remember. I think the crosswalk's over here, yeah.
Unless you want to go to the Starbucks.
No, it's not the beautiful Starbucks. It's an okay Starbucks. Right, and if you are just joining us, welcome to Gyeongju, South Korea. We are out for a beautiful day in this gorgeous weather. You would never believe that it's almost December because the temperatures are in the upper 60s and or upper teens, depending on your scale. And that's why we are here today. Right, so more placid tombs seeming to float across the grassy green. Now over there, can they say the two-humper? That is a twin tomb, and that is a king and a queen who were buried together, basically.
They think.
They think.
It's not been excavated.
Yeah, they're pretty certain because they have excavated at least one of the double tombs, and that was a king and a queen.
So they found a gold crown.
Right.
Sweden crown was a double?
Yes, it was. Yep. A double feature. So this park, they have been excavating bit by bit for decades at this point. And this certainly didn't used to be open like this because we're approaching the royal palace, the fortress and the royal palace. And so this used to be, I would like you to imagine streets in a grid fashion with hanok, traditional Korean architecture, all along them. This is where the courtiers would have lived. The nobles would have lived in the neighborhood here around the palace. And what they've found so far is fascinating. They have found evidence of an extremely advanced sewage system here. They have found evidence of paved roads. So this was a very sophisticated city, and it was called Sorabol at the time, or also sometimes called Kumsong. Kumsong means fortress of gold. So that harkens back to the idea of the Sheila being very obsessed with gold, which makes sense. Gold, of course, has mystical properties, right? It doesn't tarnish. It shines in a way that transcends the sheen on all other metals. So of course they would tie it together with spirituality, with the heavens. And therefore, of course, if you are a king or a queen, you are a representative of the heavens. You should therefore adorn yourself accordingly. Now, I can,
So bright.
oh right, yeah. It's probably too bright for them to see the walls of the earthworks, probably.
Amusingly, they look like tiny and far away
Of course they do.
when they're much more impressive in person.
And the unfortunate nature of the cameras that we have these days is that they tend to depict things at a strange, to be more objects in the forward view camera don't appear closer than they are. They appear
To the observatory.
They appear further than they are. So, of course, in Eastern Asia and the Shilla dynasty, we're very focused on astronomy because the motion of the heavenly bodies should help them predict the motion of earthly bodies. And so it was very important to be able to clearly see the sky and chart the motion of the stars. And for that, they built an observatory. And that is what this structure to the left will be, this tower, which remarkably has survived since the 5th century. Especially given what has happened in Korea in the interim, that's a miracle.
There it is.
Yep. Yep, Cheomseongdae, 7th century, right, this one. Cheomseongdae. Yep. And for those of you who are fans of Queen Sondok, one of the queens regnant of the Shilla dynasty, it was Sondok who built this. She unleashed a building program of unprecedented proportions. So many of the, much of the architecture that they have excavated around here can in some way be tied to her. So that this has survived is just remarkable. Now, there is no door on the bottom. There would have been a ladder leading up to the opening, and then you would go up there to the top to be able to observe. But the idea is that it should keep out any light. And also ceremonies, they assume that ceremonies were performed around here that had some kind of, they always assume that, yeah, I know.
Now, they don't have the picture up anymore. It's showing the school kids climbing.
Yeah, it's showing the school children back when they used to climb up. Yeah, there's a photograph from the 1920s depicting school children, a girls' school, and they're basically all up the front, standing on various stones. So, back when they didn't really care about preserving historical artifacts. Yeah. Okay, to Tonggung. Tonggung, the Eastern Palace. You mean Wolji?
Wolji.
Wolji, yeah. Tonggung, Eastern Palace. So we're now heading towards a pleasure palace that was built they think in around the 6th or 7th century. It's referred to as the Eastern Palace because it is to the east of Walsung, which is this fortress that we're about to enter. And Walsung itself was the administrative heart of the kingdom. And this is where the main palace was, this is where the official buildings were, this is where the operations of state took place, where all of the agencies that operated the various systems of the Shilla dynasty were housed. But it was not a place for parties, and so they actually built a separate palace, goes the theory, where the royal family could actually relax and host guests and let their hair down, possibly literally, considering that they were always putting their hair up in buns. To the right here, we have the mystical forest. And one of the things that makes it mystical is that this is a serious stand of old growth trees, which don't generally survive here. So there's trees in here that are 800 years old or older. Like this scary looking tree on the corner that looks like it's possessed by something evil. See earlier comment about trees in Korean mythology being used to entomb evil spirits.
King Sejong's observatory still standing.
Sejong's, I don't know. I actually don't know. I mean, so Sejong is from the 15th century, more likely to have been reconstructed than still standing because the Imjin War postdates King Sejong and the Japanese burnt everything they could get their hands on to the ground. So yeah, at nighttime, this forest is illuminated in a delightfully creepy and beautiful fashion, and there's eerie music playing throughout it, so you get the full mystical experience. This is also where the golden egg was found. So, yeah, thank you, Capriel. The golden egg is one of the founding myths of the Shilla dynasty. And so goes the story, and I forget which of the trees it was. One of these creepy looking trees, that a golden egg was found within that was supposedly laid by a horse, as happens, apparently. A lot of horse laying eggs in the Shilla dynasty. And out sprang the man who would become one of the founders of the Shilla dynasty. Yeah, there's some creepy stuff happening. Don't ask questions too closely. You're not going to like the answer, probably. So here we have reconstruction of some of the waterworks that they discovered in the course of their excavating the premises here. And these are new additions. When we came here for the first time 11 years ago, none of this was here. But you can see it's a very sophisticated system designed to route water from the river actually around the fortress and through a series of moats all the way around and back to the river again, providing protection, but also providing a source of water for operations here in the city, this side of the city, and also in the fortress itself.
You can see the foundation of the markers to show where they...
So yeah, every place you see markers, these stone column bases, basically, that's a spot where they found post holes. And so this is how they know that there were buildings here. And based on the size of the post holes, and sometimes even some remnant wood, they can kind of guess the size of the buildings. Of course, you know, there's a lot of imagination involved in archaeology. So.
Now you can see the walls better. And for scale, there's a dot on top that's a human.
Oh, yes. So these earthworks, these mounds, these hills, they're not naturally occurring. They were built as part of the fortress surrounding this, that was built here. So these were defensive. There would have been a gate here, so... No, that's okay. There would have been a beautiful timber frame gate here, and there would have been walls all around, actually stone walls, on the top going all the way around this fortress. Of course, for the most part, a lot of the stones are now here, just kind of lying around in rubble. And a lot of them, of course, were taken and reused in other buildings over the centuries. Once this ceased to be the capital of the kingdom, which basically happened at the handover. It's a really funny, that's what they call it in Korean. They refer to it as the handover to Goryeo. When the Goryeo dynasty took over in the 10th century. Basically, Kumsong stopped, it lost its significance. So at nighttime, this place emanates a profound degree of creepiness. It feels really haunted. Let's see what, well, it's on the other side, the excavations.
Oh, no, that building's still there, but there used to be stuff over here.
Oh, not for a while, I don't think, on this side. It's all on the other side. So since we started traveling to Gyeongju, they have installed this nicely paved path. Didn't used to be, it used to be dirt, and it would become mud in certain kinds of weather. But when you're up here, you really have to imagine that this space was absolutely chock full of palace buildings. It would not have been this lovely park that we see now. So for those who are watching, if you have any questions about traveling in Korea, just pop them in the live chat and we will answer them. Questions about getting to Korea or from Korea, what to do, what to see, how to get there once you're here, what to eat, how much things cost, where to stay. We've been traveling in and around and to and from Korea for 11 years now, so lots of experience. So Wolsong literally means crescent fortress. And wall is also an older word, therefore, for moon. Dal is the word more people know now. But wall is an older word derived from the Chinese character for moon or crescent. Hence the strange. Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and go. So one of the lovely rewards for climbing up into Wolsong is the view that you get of Kumsong as was. And again, imagine not this beautiful open park, but a very well-organized grid formation of streets and mansions of Korean style, historical Korean style. People in brightly colored clothing making their way hither and yon. Shila was a much more equitable society than modern Korean societies. Men and women were basically viewed as equals and treated as equals before the law. And there was no restriction on women's movement or anything like that. That's a Joseon creation. Yes?
How expensive are the hanoks?
Oh, so depending on which hanok you get, here in Gyeongju, you can get a hanok stay for $60 a night or less if you're really off season. But the prices can go up from there. But on average, for two people per night, it's about $60. Yeah. Especially with the won exchange rate being exceedingly favorable right now. There's almost never been a better time to come to Korea if you are a dollar or euro earner. Yeah, good question. Now you can actually rent entire hanok premises here in Gyeongju, but in Seoul as well, that are historic buildings that have been turned into vacation rentals. Those run a bit more because you're getting multiple rooms, an entire kitchen, living areas, a courtyard, You know, those those will run you usually starting at a couple of $100s a night. But if you're staying with a family, that actually, you know, that works out to being a pretty good deal because you can cook your own food. You don't have to eat out for every meal, for instance. So we are now heading towards Donggung, also known as Anapji or Wolji. And as I said earlier, for those who weren't tuned in when I mentioned it, this is the pleasure palace of the Shila royal family. They have excavated some very interesting artifacts that sadly are no longer in the palace like they used to be when we first got here. They've now all been consolidated to the Gyeongju National Museum. But the palace itself is still quite beautiful. And if we're lucky, we'll still have rainbow maples everywhere. No, I didn't. I knew you wouldn't. Oh, the excavations are done. They've buried it again. Yep, they have apparently finished the excavations over there, and they are setting it back up to be a park again. I do, you know, I have to say, I really miss robber barons that actually had taste and put their money towards beautiful public works like the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Because what I would love is for some robber baron, modern robber baron, to take an interest in Gyeongju and pay to have the entire thing rebuilt as it was in the 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th centuries. Right, just rebuild. I don't care which, doesn't matter, it'll all be beautiful. Rebuild the palaces, rebuild the architecture, restore it to its splendor. That's what I would like to see happen. Will that happen? Unlikely. Oh yes, warning that there are poisonous snakes. Doesn't that snake look so adorable? Oh, cutie. This is actually an ice chamber from the Joseon era. A little bit odd, I know, because this was not a major city under Joseon, but there are actually multiple ice houses all throughout Korea that were built during Joseon because they would get snow down from the mountains and they would store it as ice here, and then they would be able to do things like bingsu. Yeah, so bingsu didn't used to be shaved frozen milk, it used to be shaved ice. But they could use it for other applications, packing fish and transporting fish, for instance. So this is an active excavation, obviously not right at this moment, it's Sunday. But this, you can actually, can we go, wow, I don't understand why they don't let people up onto the observation deck anymore. It's so frustrating. So you can actually if you could go up onto the observation deck, it is possible to actually look down over the footprint of the palace structures as were here during the Shila dynasty. It's ridiculous that they have decided that. They built this observation deck specifically so that people could look at the excavation, and then they locked it off. Yeah. Ah, fascinating. Would be nice if we had some more details than that. Dog and deer bones. Yeah, these are basically pictures of things that they have found here in the course of their excavating. And yes, for those who have seen the K-drama on Queen Sondok, that would have taken place here, basically. And behind where we are now and where we're going. I'm going to go walk on the... Right. So... Yeah, I started to, but unfortunately it's the old school K-drama, so it's not very good. The quality is nothing like the K-dramas are now, and it's just a little sad. Right. And of course, because it's daytime, there's almost no one there, which makes it perfect. So the real time to come to Anapchi, honestly, the best time for views is nighttime, because they illuminate the pavilions that have been reconstructed, and those illuminated pavilions reflect in the pond, and it looks like you're gazing into a gorgeous infinity. However, everyone else knows that too. And so at nighttime, it is school buses of irritating adolescents. And by the way, I thought adolescents were irritating when I was an adolescent. So not a sign of age or maturity. I've always thought teenagers were annoying assholes. Loud, obnoxious, rowdy, and ill-behaved.
K-drama was called what?
Queen Sondok. Yeah, the K-drama, the K-drama, so the K-drama to which we're referring is called Queen Sondok. Yeah, Seondeok in the current version of romanization from Hangul. So coming to Anapchi Pond, Wolji Pond, or Tonggung as it's called, at nighttime will give you the most amazing views. It will also give you the biggest headache from the crowds. Whereas coming during the day, as you can see from here, it's empty. There's an example of what it looks like during the night. Yeah. So that down there is what it looks like at nighttime. But I have plenty of nighttime views of Tonggung on the channel. So if you go to shorts, or if you just look up Gyeongju, you'll see pretty immediately the nighttime views of this palace. Oh wow, we've got a smiley face? Wow, amazing. Wow, only 47 micrograms, nice. We've got a smiley face for air quality today. We have chosen wisely. Okay, let me grab my...
The game thing is gone.
I know, everything's gone. All of the vendors are. Oh, wait, oh, you're right, they just moved further down. Ooh. I don't understand how. The thing I'm looking for is always the bottom, shit, my finger thing came off. Is always the bottommost thing it can possibly be. It's okay, I got it. I can do it. Sorry everyone, the brace on my biopsied finger came off in my satchel. And I will accidentally bend it and tear out the stitches if I don't do it correctly.
Tickets are about 3,000
Ah, yeah. So tickets are 3,000 won here as well. 30,000. Did I say 30,000? 3,000. 두 분? Oh, thank you. 두 분.
예, 중학생 둘, 초등학생 하나. 예. 4명요. 어른 1명.
Thank you. Thank you. It makes Koreans very happy to see real hanbok and not just the crappy costume hanbok. Because they don't get to see it very often. Not many Koreans actually own hanbok.
They never wear it.
They very rarely wear it. Ah, here we go. 안녕하세요. Oh. She called me Queen, Your Majesty. Okay.
Hey, baby mama.
Hey, baby mama.
Baby mama.
Baby mama, not Teji. Teji is pig.
Pig queen.
Your Majesty, the pig. Right, so they've only reconstructed a couple of the buildings that they excavated here as they think they looked. But anywhere you see all of these three-dimensional bits of ground are where they found post holes. And so this entire complex, and we will get to see a diorama showing an overview, but this entire complex was basically structures of some kind. There were some open courtyards, but they were paved in the way a good courtyard should be. And for those of you who follow me in my medieval endeavors, we have danced Petite Rienne in this pavilion here. And at nighttime, it is chock-a-block humanity. Yeah, so these are the auspicious colors. The Shilla dynasty was the dynasty that adopted Buddhism here in Korea, and that Queen Sondok was especially instrumental in spreading Buddhism across the peninsula. And so they suspect that the royal palace buildings had this style of painting on them to reflect their connection to Buddhism as the state religion. Yeah, really gorgeous architecture. Of course, maintaining this painting can be expensive. Yeah, so they have reconstructed the pond. There wasn't actually much of it or any of it left. But based on the fact that they found a boat here during excavations, they assume there must have been a pond.
And it was written about.
And it was written about. There are plenty of writings that have survived from this era. Yeah, amazingly. And it talks about there being a pond as part of the Eastern Palace, Tonggung, the pleasure palace. 2-star, welcome to Gyeongju, South Korea. Where are you watching from today? If you have any questions, anyone, as we're walking about this lovely, peaceful palace, please just let me know. If you want to see anything in more proximity, just again, say the word and we will show it to you.
Here you go, Susan.
showing them that there is a man behind the camera. Gosh, what happened? Did they cull the birds? There used to be so many birds here that it was like a bird war zone. Remember in fact, can they see the little island?
Yeah, that little.
Can they see the stork?
Yep.
So I think that might be the same stork that we watched literally kick a duck off of the island the last time we were here. He literally walked up to one of those ducks and with his foot kicked it and made it leave the island. Let me see. Oh, Jamie, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We're doing very well. It is a gorgeous day here in South Korea. We are in Gyeongju, one of the most beautiful places in the country, and it is abnormally, unseasonably warm. So we are really just so happy to be here, and we're happy to get to share this with you all. Yeah.
Is it a World Heritage Site?
This is I don't know if it's a UNESCO. I think it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I'd be shocked if it weren't, honestly. APEC was just here. Some of you may have heard about that. Apparently, it was pure chaos here in Gyeongju because this city is a small city. It is not a big city. And they weren't quite ready for the chaos that was unleashed upon them with the APEC 2025 conference. Yeah.
Despite the building of the really large park.
Yeah. Yeah. So as I was saying earlier, this site is best viewed at nighttime, but also it's the least pleasant time to view it because there will be about 10,000 people here, and I don't think I'm exaggerating. Yeah, so this used to be a pleasure pond, and they excavated a preserved wooden pleasure boat, a flat-bottomed, long, what's the word I'm looking for? The things that go down the Thames with the royalty on them. The word for that kind of boat that isn't meant to go anywhere.
Canal boat?
A buyer, no, it's called something else.
I don't know.
Anyway, a barge, right? Yeah, flat-bottomed, small barge that would have been used to just gently paddle around the lake, probably drinking tea and enjoying nibblies. And that boat is preserved, and you can see it in the Gyeongju National Museum. 1,300-year-old boat, wooden boat, no less. Just wood doesn't often survive in the archaeological record, so. So one of the things they discovered when they excavated this site was, just like the main city, a sophisticated drainage system whereby the entire site is actually graded to slant downwards towards the pond. And over here we can actually see one of the original sewers lines. So the whole palace complex was filled with these, designed to, yeah, we only show you the best stuff. It's a gutter. But it's a 1,300-year-old gutter, so respect it. And basically the idea was that it rains here in the summer. There's serious monsoons, or there used to be before climate change. And so at that time, this entire palace would be flooded. But because of the grading and the complex gutter system, which is literally everywhere to be found, all the water is channeled safely into the pond. So we're now heading towards the pavilion that has a very detailed labor of love, a diorama reconstruction as they think it looked of, hopefully we can see through, we probably from the backside maybe, I don't know, we'll find out. They used to have in this pavilion many of the amazing artifacts that they found here, but they've unfortunately all been transported to Gyeongju National Museum. Yeah, okay, so this is what this complex possibly looked like. And I say possibly because they're basing it on the archaeology. No visuals, as far as I know, have survived. Move forward.
Turn sideways. Okay, yeah, I can kind of still see it. See if I can see it.
Unfortunately, it's through glass, so it can be hard to get through the reflection.
Here's a much better view.
Yeah, okay. So this is what it presumably looked like. There is some conjecture, but it's based on visuals of other architecture from this era, also based on descriptions that sometimes crop up in the annals, that many of which have survived.
You speak English really well.
Why, thank you.
Where are you from?
I speak English so well because I'm American and also a linguist by trade, profession originally. Professional translator. But thank you for that compliment. I was actually born and raised in Delaware in the United States. Wow, the water is so clear that you can see the water plants in it. That's remarkable. So one of the big aesthetic distinctions between Western landscaping and Eastern landscaping is that in the West, we seek to bring nature to fit our desire for symmetry and structure, whereas in Eastern landscaping, traditionally, the idea is to maximize and enhance the natural curvature of the landscape to make it a sort of microcosm of the universe, rather than forcing it into a shape that is unnatural. So hence, we don't have a squared off pond, but rather one with many curves and juts and divots to enhance nature rather than make nature unnatural. I'll be honest, I like both aesthetics. I can appreciate both. I don't prefer one over the other.
Were there swans here before? I think I've seen swans here.
I have not seen swans here.
Cranes.
No, lots of cranes, and very, very bully cranes that literally kick ducks off of the island. But no, I think I just saw a turtle dive. No, he's gone. Sorry, handsome.
Oh, right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I saw.
Clear enough. There.
Oh no, it's a diving duck. It's a diving duck.
That little guy right there. Dive, duck, dive.
Right.
You're not gonna dive.
So in the Shilla dynasty, he just dove. In the Shilla dynasty, as I was saying earlier, men and women were basically equal. Women could hold office, women could be queen, women could own their own land, women could get divorced. It was a much better time for women in Korean society, and one that was completely supplanted by the evils of Neo-Confucianism. So I don't think it's a coincidence that the second a society becomes more misogynistic, it experiences an economic, architectural, educational, and military downturn. I think there's a good reason for that. Yeah, so all of these signs say very clearly, don't step on the grass. And so they're desperately trying to abide by the letter of the law rather than the spirit. So this palace would have been the place where the royal family would have hosted guests of honor. They would have hosted feasts and rituals. They would have, you know, when embassies came from China, the Tang Dynasty, this is where they would have feted them. Now, we don't, unfortunately, as far as I know, there isn't much information about the specific shape of those feasts. But we can conjecture a little bit about the food because we know the kind of foodstuffs that were available because when they excavated this pond, they actually found preserved foodstuffs. How crazy is that? Oh, yeah, I mean, there's no point in it being a depressing mud flat. Oh, wow. Oh, no, I guess we were never allowed to come out here. I wonder, so can they see the low railing? Yeah, so I'm wondering, we used to be able to walk out here, actually, into this pavilion. I'm wondering how many people fell into the pond before they decided to stop letting people walk out into this pavilion. Oh, good times.
So beautiful.
It really is so gorgeous here.
Oh, and the picture spot bamboo.
Oh, yes, right. So for those who haven't traveled to Korea, one of the things you'll notice when you hear is the importance of photo taking and photo spots. The Korean Tourism Agency has been very kind to make certain that you know exactly where the best spots for photos are by posting signs. And we're about to come up to a stand of bamboo that is normally a photo spot, but I see tape around it. Okay, yeah, stand of bamboo that is a photo spot. They do not have big bamboo forests here in Korea.
You can still get into the crook.
They have one bamboo stand of trees called damyang, but otherwise it's not sort of the natural forestation here. So in the places where there are bamboo stands, people appreciate a photo moment with them. And here we have just such a stand. We're in the southern part of Korea, so bamboo actually does fairly well here. It's pretty warm, especially compared to the northern parts of Korea, and God knows North Korea. And for those who don't know, bamboo is a grass, and it is an invasive grass. And once bamboo takes root, you're probably unlikely to ever get past it. It will take over forever. You will have to fight it for the rest of eternity. I call bamboo dinosaur grass because I feel like to dinosaurs, this was their lawn. I don't know if you all can you hear the rustle of the bamboo? That rustling is the wind whispering through the bamboo leaves and the stalks of the biggest grass on earth.
Yes, they can hear it.
It's very calming. I can absolutely see just laying a mat out here and sitting amongst the bamboo stand the whole day and doing nothing, which says something because I'm not a nothing doer. I'm the opposite of a nothing doer. Yeah, it's quite beautiful here. Well, see, that's what I meant. The bamboo literally sends runners up. I forget what the name is for that kind of plant that sends runners through the ground and then sprouts so that, yeah. If you know what the name for the kind of plant is, like bamboo that sends runners through the ground rather than being individual plants where it's basically all one invasive organism, let me know. I have forgotten what the term for that is. Oh, look at this lovely island. So from this side, it's really clear what I was saying about Eastern aesthetics when it comes to landscaping, right? They have maximized the natural curvature of this hill in building the reinforcing walls. You know, in Europe, in England, they would have turned this into a star or something. A star or a perfect square or a perfect rectangle. Trees would have been sacrificed. Yeah. So yeah, Korean fish are pond fish are some of the most coddled creatures under creation, and they absolutely expect that if they see a human, food will be coming for them. Can they? Unfortunately, oh, maybe they can. Yeah, these beautiful giant koi.
Yeah, we can see them.
Proof that goldfish will just keep growing. It's hard to believe they started as a little tiny guy and now they're giant.
I don't know, it's pretty. They can see the
Yeah,
reflection better than we can.
can you all see the reflection of the pavilion straight ahead? Unfortunately, there is wind today, and so that's causing a ripple in the water. But when the water is perfectly glass still, then it really feels like looking into another dimension.
Two Star was here 10 years ago.
Ooh, nice.
So were we.
Yeah, so were we, Two Star. Were you stationed here, Two Star, or were you visiting or otherwise living here for some other form of employment?
Let's see fish lips coming through the grass.
Oh, wow, look at that. That's creepy. That is some desperation.
Let's see if they can.
Can you all see the creepy movement of the leaves?
Let me get closer.
Let's see if we can get closer. This is very curious. These spoiled marine animals are hoping that the sound of our voice will result in yummy things falling into their mouths. That is weird.
Too funny.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, unfortunately, people tend to feed them bread. Fish should not be fed bread, everyone. Birds should not be fed bread. Humans shouldn't really be fed bread. Don't feed fish bread. Don't feed birds bread, please. Oh, maybe this time you can see what it looks like at night. If not, fear not. After this live stream, or even now, I suppose, you can check out on the channel. I have plenty of beautiful shot videos capturing the wonder that is Tonggung at night.
Definitely agree, Two Star. It is beautiful here.
Yeah, we love it here. We especially love it when there are no people here. I'm not a misanthrope. I love people. I feed off of the energy of people. I just don't do well with crowds at all. I feel trapped. I don't like noise. I don't like that I can't control them. I mean, I can control some of them, just not all 10,000 of them, I guess.
It's so clear you can see the rocks in the water.
Yeah, it's remarkably clear today, the water is. It is easy to envisage this as a place of pleasure and repose from the rigors of ruling. I know modern people, especially Americans, have this warped view about what it meant to be a king or a regnant king or queen in the past. But this idea of the lazy king who did nothing doesn't apply to most models of kingship. Kings in Korea tended to die at a young age because they worked themselves into an early grave. I don't know what those berries are. Are those omija? No.
No.
What is that? Unfortunately, in general, red berry equals bad, so I don't recommend anyone just randomly try a red berry. There are some exceptions, obviously, but like 5 times out of 10, red equals bad for you. That's true. So yeah, I think we have to re-examine our bias, especially as Americans and Western Europeans. We should re-examine our bias against royalty because our bias mostly springs up from very biased political views of the 19th and 20th century, and also from a misconception about what even modern royals do. So, you know, in this era, the king, yeah, looking at you, John Oliver, sit down and shut up. I love you otherwise, but your ideas about royalty suck. Anyway, you know, the king or queen of Sheila would have had a full day that started before dawn in many cases and went with work that continued well until after sunset. And they would have studied and they would have been very busy passing laws and hearing cases and also going to war, conducting rituals that were considered to be essential to the survival of the state. So to have a palace like this, to have a place to which they could retreat occasionally and recharge, wasn't a sign of decadence. It was an essential tool as part of their, you know, psychological well-being. Now, as far as we can tell in Sheila, there was not necessarily a massive gap between rich and poor. There was a much higher standard of living than one might expect. I don't know if they can see into this amazing stand of trees here, with all the beautiful rainbow maples and the dappling of the sunlight across the ripples of the hill.
So it doesn't match in person.
I know, I wish there was a way that I could tap into my brain and let you see what it is I'm seeing in the way that I'm actually seeing it, because my eyes are way better than that camera is. Have any of you experienced that frustration where the camera just fails absolutely to capture the thing that you're seeing in the way that you're seeing it?
Look at the beautiful sunset. It looks like a flat line.
Right. We could do the medieval sewing party here. We don't have to go over to Wolji Bridge or Gyeongju.
We have to go by the museum, right? Or the crown?
Well, I thought we'd do that later.
I just don't know, with it being Sunday, how late.
Oh, they're open until 6.
He's got a big friend on your back.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
What kind of friend?
He's a bug.
I have. Oh my gosh, there are still some lily pads.
There. Come on.
I love beetles. They're so pretty. They have, they're like the knights of the insect world with their armor.
There you go.
Look, we actually still have some lily pads. That's unexpected. They're dead everywhere else. It's like a little microclimate right back here. Now, what you may or may not be able to hear is that there is delicate historical Korean music playing at regular intervals, gently whistling in the background. Trying to figure out where it is. Oh, it is here. Could they hear that? Could you all hear that? Or was the wind too much?
I'm going to guess that they
While gazing at my expansive derriere because of all the layers I'm wearing.
It makes your butt look like full-time.
Yeah, so let me put it this way. Let me give you a demonstration of the layers. So we have my chima. The chima is lined, and then under the lined chima is another chima made of rami, and then under that, which is a wrap skirt, so of course it's a couple of layers in and of itself, and then under that is a pair of dansokot and then my paji. And no, I'm not wearing my bossop because I couldn't find them, sorry. Anyway, that's why my derriere looks a little expansive. What?
Yes, music was heard. And Two-Star said, wow.
Thank you, Two-Star, much appreciated. By the way, if I haven't said this recently, let me repeat it because this is the ecosystem in which I operate. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell and make sure all are notified. Otherwise, it will only tell you when I do things that it thinks you want to see, which is not usually what you want to see. Now, this is one of the really nice areas that they have reconstructed, but they didn't have to reconstruct much. because these are the waterworks of water that actually feeds into the palace grounds. And much of what you're seeing here survived. So they actually know this is how it looked because they only had to touch it up a little bit. And up here, up here is some of the really beautiful carved water features of the palace. And maybe from here they can see that it's two dragon heads curving to the spot where the water falls. Is that visible from this angle?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. So this.
You said no secret culottes?
No, I've got the secret. That's the dansokot. That's this. The secret culottes. The dansokot. Yep. It's this. Yep. So yeah, this is one of my favorite water features, maybe in Korea because it's 1,300 years old. And it still looks like dragon heads, despite all of the weathering it has experienced over the centuries. And it really underscores how elegant the whole premises here must have been, right? When you put that much care into your water features, you know the rest is getting a lot of attention too. And of course, I love the ASMR of flowing water. It's really super relaxing. Yeah.
Some days we've been here and it's just been almost dry.
That's true. The water is flowing quite energetically. Oh, ugly fruit tree. So I don't know whether they can see it or not, but this is a quince tree. No, we can't, but can we get closer enough for them to see it? That is a quince tree.
Can you see all the yellow hanging fruit?
Those are real. Those are not CGI'd. They haven't been glued on. I know it looks odd because all the leaves are gone, but those are quinces. For those who don't know what a quince is, it is the most bitter fruit on the earth, I'm pretty certain. And generally, they are used only to make preserves. I once bought a quince when I was a teenager because I was curious, and I took a bite, and I thought that not only had all the moisture been sucked out of my mouth, that it had been sucked out of my mouth forever. That's how bitter it was. This is a nice view of the three pavilions from this angle. Oh, and we can see the stripe of the original tiles on the center. Maybe if you zoom in.
Yeah, they can see it actually.
So that stripe, that gray stripe in the middle of the roof, those are original roof tiles that they excavated from here and that they used to rebuild the pavilion so that there would be some of the original pieces in the reconstruction, which I think is very poetic. Also, it shows the quality of craftsmanship from that time, that there are roof tiles that are still doing pretty well. I can't imagine any roof tiles on any roofs being built in America now that will last for 1,300 years in any condition. It was a different attitude towards construction, wasn't it? Yeah, I definitely miss a time when architecture was beautiful, where it was supposed to be beautiful, where function and beauty were equally important, were co-equal. Whereas now it's just function and cost, right? Function, cost, and then maybe aesthetics, but mostly just function and cost. And mostly cost, actually, now that I think about it. Oh, Mary Ann, welcome. Well, we were just actually just finishing the tour, but we'll give you a look around at the palace. We are here in Tonggung, Anapji or Wolji Pond, as it's also called, the eastern palace of the Shilla dynasty here in Kumsang in Gyeongju. These three buildings are the only ones they've rebuilt from the original premises, but this was the pleasure palace. There used to be There used to be buildings everywhere. A giant feast hall was in the center there, 2-story. And they used to feast, and there used to be performances and poetry and singing, and they used to play stupid games. Unfortunately, they don't have the dice here, but they excavated, we're not buying yet another one. No, bad boy, no biscuit. Sorry, my sock came off and now I've got lovely blisters on the backs of my heel. Anyway, they excavated this 20-sided dice. And on it, on each facet, there are, actually, we'll walk this way towards the thing. On each facet, there are Chinese characters that provide instructions on what to do when you roll that side of the dice. And it turns out it's a party drinking game. And so basically, there are instructions like drink a shot and sing to the moon, recite a poem to the moon, hop on one foot and drink a shot. Write your name with your butt. And seriously, that really is one. Write your name with your butt. So it's a silly drinking game, and it shows that the Shila were a happy-go-lucky, silly people, and that things haven't changed, right? 1,300 years ago, people are doing stupid party drinking games, and now we're still doing stupid party drinking games. So the bonds, the ties that bind across the centuries, it's glorious. Yeah, so it's those kind of details that archaeology give us. And that's one of the reasons we love to travel, is to explore cultures past and present and feel the way that we're actually all the same.
I'm used to the D&D.
Was that a question?
No.
Oh.
Susan said it sounds like D&D.
Yes. So unfortunately, even though modern gamers would like to think they invented the infinitely sided dice, they did not. Oh, up ahead we have costume Shila Hanbok coming our way. Honestly, they wouldn't be so bad if they just didn't have the hoops. Okay. Oh, exit. Oh, I wonder, do we want to check out the video?
We can.
See if anyone's in here. Ah.
It basically just shows what we've already seen.
Let me see.
Ooh, you can click the dice.
Oh, yes. Harder. Nope, you cannot. Okay. It used to be an actual interactive video, but maybe it's given up. It's on break. It needed a rest. I mean, actually, you're right. The museum is right over here, isn't it? Yeah, you're right. Okay, we're going to Gyeongju National Museum now.
Are we switching over to the
That is a good question. If we were multi-streaming, we wouldn't have to decide, but with the microphone, we do need to actually decide. Yeah. Well, I think we'll head over to the museum. Right, yeah. Let's see. Okay, so for those of you who would like to explore the Gyeongju National Museum, we're going to be doing that from the Creative Contessa channel, which is one of my three sister channels. So we're going to switch over to there for that because it's more history and culture than travel. So if you're interested in seeing the 6 golden crowns of the Shila dynasty, then go over to the Creative Contessa and click on notifications, and maybe we'll restart from here.
Here?
Yeah, because that. Okay. In a couple of minutes. We need a break. Okay, so in the meanwhile, if you want to check out the Gyeongju National Museum and the 6 golden crowns of Shila, then make sure to go check out the Creative Contessa channel. Otherwise, if you've just been enjoying this lovely walking tour on this glorious day in Gyeongju, Korea, thank you so much for coming along with us. If you have any questions and we didn't answer them, pop them in the comments and I will get to them. Stay tuned for more travel live streaming, probably here in Gyeongju and also in and around Korea over the next weeks. Otherwise, until next time, everyone, may your travels be creative and completely unplanned. Like today, literally, we decided last night to come here. That's about as unplanned as you can get. Okay, everyone, safe travels. Bye.